You may have heard in the news about Tesla protesters. This also from Decoy Voice. People who own Teslas these days. And chat, I'm going to scoot you back over here. And make you just a touch bigger now. There we are. Yeah, but those of you who either know people who own a Tesla or perhaps you yourself own a Tesla, yeah, you may have been noticing as of late in certain places, people have been having the Teslas damaged by psychotic shitlibs who think that they'll go and you know, scratch up your Tesla, or spray paint it, or beat on it with a baseball bat, or whatever, because somehow that's going to stick it to Elon Musk. Even though that's not how that works, and these people are blithering idiots to think that. And honestly, they all deserve to be beaten with their own baseball bats. But anyways, yeah, we're coming to the find out portion of the story arc with the whole of fuck around, find out. Let's check this out.
In Texas, this high-calorie human rammed his four-wheeler into a random Tesla.
There's another name for people like this. They're called fat asses.
Now, he actually did quite a bit of damage, but he wasn't able to get far as the police arrested and charged him. And as ridiculous as this sounds,
Texarkana, that's over on the border with Texas and Arkansas.
It just keeps getting worse, as the New York Post's article on the story called him a massive problem to Tesla owners.
Yeah, massive is putting it mildly. Jesus, that man is fat. It's a miracle he hasn't keeled over from a heart attack or a stroke or from diabetes. And now he's going to be getting medical care in a prison cell from the taxpayers in the state of Texas. The bastard.
Owners hitting multiple cars outside a Golden Palace Chinese buffet, as the man arrested is 5'2" and 450 pounds, causing $1,000 of damage to the Tesla. Now
Jesus, $1,000 to replace a bloody door. I've had a door lock fail, a couple of door locks fail on my car. It's a bit of an older car, and those things wear out after a while. I'm going to have to shell out $500 each just to get those replaced. It's maddening. Land whale's my favorite. Yeah, no, he's land whale, land orca, whatever the fuck he is. But an absolute bottom feeder.
The man arrested was charged with felony criminal mischief and failure to identify, as he apparently gave a fake name originally, but is now being held in custody on a $105,000 bond. Although this is only for the first car, they are looking to charge him for damaging the two others as well.
Yeah, so that's about 2 or 3 sets of charges there. 2 or 3 sets of potential felony charges that he could be facing. So that means possibly more bail. Let's hope so. Texas is fairly solid red state, and they don't take kindly to this sort of behavior, especially in smaller towns like Texarkana, which has grown quite a bit in recent years, but that there's still a lot of those small town vibes there in Texarkana. I know this because I'm constantly in Texas on business, and you know, in addition to other places that I travel to quite frequently. And yeah, knowing what I know about Texarkana, lovely town, but they do not take kindly to this sort of thing there. And I think it's a safe prediction that he is going to, this fat ass here is going to, he's going to be facing fairly lengthy prison time. And yeah, not only that, but there's probably civil judgments from this as well. there's the, in the words of Chuck Schumer, they've got 6 ways to Sunday of fucking this guy over. The system does, and frankly, I hope they do, because we need to send a message to people like this that this sort of behavior is not to be tolerated anymore. Austin is very blue from what I recall. Yes, Austin, Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio are the big cities where they're the largest metro areas in Texas, and they are very blue. So is El Paso, to a certain extent. But El Paso, that's just because that's a border town, and you've got a lot of people coming in from the southern border that, well, they all tend to vote Democrat because that's who butters their bread. Sayu's found son, welcome in, good to see you.
Not gonna shame this guy over his stature, but I can't imagine you.
Oh, we will. He's an absolute fat ass. He hasn't missed a meal. The man is a walking, lumbering PSA for the dangers of gluttony and overindulgence and overeating, and the importance of reducing one's caloric intake and having a healthier diet. And yeah, we could say so many other ththings, but let's keep going.
Get to nearly triple-digit BMI without the assistance of the Golden Palace Chinese buffet. So I can't understand.
It's the sort of bloke that needs to stay away from all-you-can-eat buffets. Probably by court order needs to stay away from the all-you-can-eat buffets because, you know, he gets in there. He obviously has no self-control. Overeats himself into oblivion, and then jumps on an ATV and starts ramming into Teslas because he's got some beef with Elon Musk, even though those cars don't belong to Elon Musk. Elon Musk happens to own Tesla, which makes the automobiles. It's just somebody who's fallen for the programming shitlib programming and is thinking that somehow he's going to send a message of protest to Elon Musk or to the people who voted for Donald Trump as a way of sticking it to them. It's like, no, you're just being a dick who's causing property damage. And in another time and place, you would be publicly beaten and flogged for that sort of behavior, and done so mercilessly until you learn the lesson that you are never to do this sort of thing ever again, lest even worse happen to you. If my card is an extension of my home in Texas, I wonder if Castle Doctrine comes into play. Welcome in, Megalum. Not a lawyer. Can't really opine on that. I've heard arguments on both sides for it. I would say do your own research and consult with a legal expert on that sort of thing. Either they've been radicalized or they're being paid off like those protesters in the EU. I think the money's starting to dry up in that regard, so I don't know if they're being paid off. A lot of these are very isolated incidents from the looks of it, with very small crowds. So my money would be on they've been radicalized because they are terminally online and they are imbuing and absorbing all of the wrong sources that are telling them that somehow this is acceptable behavior. And it's not.
And arriving at your happy place, but being so enraged over what you heard about Elon Musk and Tesla, that instead of just enjoying your afternoon with some Chinese food, you decide to commit a couple felonies, never being able to show your face at that place again, as the Teslas are surrounded by cameras constantly recording, and there's not so many men riding ATVs with your particular build. But again, I don't credit these anti-Elon types with much intelligence.
Do I want to get Elon Musk out of politics? Yeah, the world's richest man, the most influential in history, is now calling the shots.
What has he done that really bothers you?
Nothing. He can't point to anything. It's just that he's Elon Musk, and the people on the telly have told him that Elon Musk bad, Orange Man bad. You need to hate these people because we say so. Only joke, you're not worth it in this case. Much better in civil court, and a lack of disposable income would probably help this dude become less of a whale. Yeah, I mean, I would predict, though, knowing Texas and knowing their their gun laws and how many people carry guns, oftentimes openly, because Texas is an open carry state. Yeah, if this goes on, it's probably just a matter of time before we hear to see something in the media about someone trying to vandalize a Tesla, and the Tesla owner happens to be packing, and the people attempting to vandalize that Tesla get absolutely ventilated by the Tesla owner. I think it's just a matter of time. Because this stuff doesn't seem to be slowing down or stopping. It might stop then if stories like that start getting out in the media of, oh yeah, the Tesla owners are fighting back now. Which, I mean, I believe in a fundamental right to protect your life and your property. I don't think it's wrong to do so, and, you know, if you feel your life is in danger, then yes, you have every right to respond accordingly. That's my personal belief on the matter. What about those bigwigs like Bill Gates? The only thing is they're not open about their politics. I think they are open, just in a different way. The rich will always influence politics, yes. It's the other golden rule. We know of the biblical golden rule of do unto others as you would have them do unto you, but there's the other golden rule of whoever has the gold makes the rules. So you can either complain about rich people in politics, or you yourself can actually, you know, do something about it. Try and work towards that solution to where you yourself and other like-minded people can influence the outcome through your own funds or raising funds for something that is important to you. The only thing that's never going to achieve any sort of results is just sitting around and complaining about it. We can all sit here and look at these videos and say, oh, isn't that awful? And ha, isn't that funny? And, you know, damn, this really pisses me off. But in the end, there's still that fundamental question of, what are you doing about it? What are you doing about it? What are you organizing for? That's the more important question.
Arrogant, drugged up, naive.
60 years, USAID, billions of dollars. Do you think it made an impact in the world?
You know,
Doesn't have an
These
answer.
guys literally know nothing other than, I'm supposed to dislike this. And
Yeah, they are told by people in the so-called mainstream media, the legacy media, this is what you're supposed to be angry about. This is what you're supposed to be... these are the people that you're supposed to be angry at. Go get them. Go get them. Yeah, they're sheeps. They're sheep, all of them. The lot of them. It just... And you can point it out to them. It's like, you realize you're being psyoped, yeah? You realize that you are being programmed by the people on the telly and by your so-called mainstream media outlets on the internet. You are being psychologically programmed and pointed and used like a tool or a weapon against certain individuals. You realize that, yes? Doesn't even compute with them. Their egos won't allow them to admit, oh shit, I'm being played here.
as long as it makes them feel righteous, they will proudly parrot whatever the TV or the social media algorithms told them to. Because
Yeah, that's what they care about, is stroking their own egos, huffing their own farts.
can't be convinced with looking into it any further, which is a very dangerous trend, as the masses may just mindlessly agree, but you only need a small percentage of the mentally unwell to buy into this to essentially get the Democrats' version of the Nazi brown shirts. As I've extensively covered the anti-Elon protests, and even though they've claimed they'll go after them, I recently took my Tesla to downtown LA, and I was pretty sketched out at having to park it in a shady alleyway, as in California, they're still keying Teslas, or this couple was spitting on them. And even if I do catch the culprit in 4K, I have next to no...
So, what do you have to accomplish with that? What, you think you're a big man because you spat on a Tesla? Well, you think you're a big bad bitch just because you keyed a Cybertruck or something? No, you're not. You're nobody. You're nothing. At the end of the day, you're still just a little bitch. And again, especially in states like Texas, it's just a matter of time before someone tries to do this to someone's Tesla, and that Tesla driver happens to be either conceal or open carrying, and they just openly ventilate someone who's trying to, key or trash the Tesla. And it's going to be a big to-do, and you're going to have every force in the media coming out against the Tesla driver. Like, how dare you defend yourself and your own property? Remains to be seen whether or not the courts will side with the Tesla driver, or whether they'll actually be stupid enough to punish them with criminal penalties and civil penalties. I mean, at the very least, you're going to be facing a civil lawsuit, wrongful death suit from the family of the person who tried to vandalize, of the Tesla vandal. Which we really should not. Those sorts of lawsuits just need to be rendered absolutely null and void before you even get to that point. There really needs to be a system of people in place that will just say, no, you're not filing this lawsuit. No, you are ineligible. The plaintiff was committing a crime, therefore your entire argument is invalid. And you don't get to file this lawsuit. And in fact, we need to have punitive punishments for that sort of thing. Because you attempted to waste the court's time with this, we are going to turn around and punish you instead. You are now going to jail. You are now going to be subject to fines. This behavior stops when we start prosecuting, jailing, and fining the people responsible for it. I just hope justice will be upheld on these domestic terrorism. And that's really what it is, Juanina May. It's domestic terrorism. These attacks on property, and they are quickly becoming that, are going to escalate to the point where self-defense is necessary. Exactly. It's just a matter of time. It's like the mobs trashing cars and beating people in 2020 Minnesota. Yeah. Back then, though, the system was used against people who were trying to defend themselves and their lives and their property. I think that the tides and the times have changed to the point where those defending themselves may not be prosecuted for it, but at the same time, I'm not very confident in that because court systems tend to lag behind society in general, sometimes as long as 20 years. Yes, a fiery but peaceful protest, summer of love, anything but that. Yeah, there was no love there. That was all hate. That was all hate and anti-white racism. That's all it ever was. That was one of those points in time where I myself felt under attack just because I am a white man. I sincerely felt like there was a target on my back the entire time. I cannot tell you the level of anxiety that I was dealing with. Just because of my gender and the color of my skin. It was bad.
confidence in LAPD's ability, or maybe specifically, their interest in helping me find justice, as the NYPD is asking for help finding this guy that apparently tagged Nazi symbols on the Cybertruck. Now, other places were able to find and quickly arrest their Cybertruck vandals, but apparently in North Carolina, as recently as yesterday, they arrested a Tesla vandal, only giving her a misdemeanor. We just covered in a previous video how this specific crime was being upgraded to domestic terror, as they are successfully scaring US citizens out of freely traveling in their vehicles, all because they want to force us to comply with their political beliefs.
Yeah, and we're not going to comply. We have been forced to comply with their perverted, degenerate beliefs for years now. And people are sick of it, and they're not putting up with it anymore. The times and the tide of culture have shifted against these degenerate leftists. We're done. They are done. Their time is over. They are now nothing more than a bunch of pretentious old men and women playing at running the world. And it is a world that has left them behind long ago. People like myself, on the right, some even more dissident circles, we are the future. Our philosophy, our ideology is inevitable. Theirs has become the tired old ways of the past. Purely, thank you for redeeming Not First. Also, hello.
When all it really takes is for a handful of these Tesla vandals to receive 20-year sentences for this problem to completely dissolve overnight. But it doesn't really seem like they're following through. Although with the arson attack on the Teslas in Las Vegas, they've already made an arrest.
He attempted to mask his identity by wearing black attire, concealing his face, and wearing gloves. And then upon shooting the cameras, the suspect proceeded to the front doors of the Tesla, and he began spray painting the words "resist" across the doors.
You're not resisting anything, you twat. You aren't resisting anything. You're just a fucking jackbooted, bootlicking thug. That's all you are. You're nothing more than a common criminal who is standing up for a tyrannical globalist regime.
Presumably picking up his item that he used to be able to fire
a regime whose time is finished.
Cocktail, and you'll see in a moment here.
Thank you for the hydrate,
Redeem.
Redeem.
Will ignite and ultimately fully engulf, causing severe damage. Additional evidence was collected as we continued our investigation, and the suspect was ultimately arrested yesterday evening.
Where the DOJ says he's facing a minimum of 10 years in prison and a maximum of 20. So before you say it, we have absolutely no resemblance other than our eyes, nose, eyebrows, moles, glasses, and ethnicity. But other than that, we couldn't be farther apart.
No
and
relation.
That's exactly what I want. 20 years of incarceration would be nice, but I would like him to get some terror enhancements as well and get him locked away for another 60. As I don't sympathize with crime, but most criminal behavior
Knox,
has some
in.
sort of rationalization behind it, like robbing a bank to get money. But setting fire to Teslas just because social media said so is a mindset I honestly don't think you can fix. So possibly like
No, it's like trying to redeem. It's trying to fix stupid. You can't. Oh, Nox, thank you for redeeming Not First. Also, hello.
the present sentences will deter this, or at the very least, stop these Teslas from getting rammed by ATVs driven by dudes with swine tier BMI. But if you appreciate my concise, light-ordered commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, hopefully I've earned your subscription, then go check out the video on what happens when these Tesla vandals get hate crime enhancements.
Alright, that's good content. We're giving that a like. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so you never miss an update. If you have any thoughts, questions, or ideas for future videos, drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. You can also follow me on Twitter at Lord Rexworth for more updates and behind-the-scenes content. And if you want to support the channel, check out my Coffee or Throne pages. Links are in the description. Finally, be sure to visit lordrexworth.com and follow me across all platforms. That's lordrexworth.com. Until next time, I wish you all the best, and God bless.